Please don't leave me.
Anna cried, holding his hand tightly, her other hand resting on her round belly. Tears streamed down her face as she knelt before him in their small one-room apartment. I'm carrying your child, she sobbed. You promised we would build our life together, remember? But James looked away, his face cold and proud. He dropped his bag on the floor and said harshly, Anna, I'm tired of this useless life. I'm tired of suffering. Look at me, 35 years old with nothing to show for it. No car, no proper house, no good job. He turned toward the door, his voice rising. I've found someone who can give me the life I deserve. Her name is Cynthia, she's rich, beautiful, and she believes in me. Anna grabbed his hand again, crying harder. James, what about me? What about our baby? You said we were in this together. He pulled his hand away. You'll survive, Anna. You're strong. But I can't die poor because of love. With those cruel words, James picked up his bag and walked out into the night, leaving Anna trembling, helpless, and broken. The rain poured that night as Anna sat by the window, staring into the dark street. Her mind drifted back to the days when she and James first met. It was at the university campus, she was studying nursing, and he was a final-year engineering student. He was charming, ambitious, and full of dreams. They used to walk hand in hand, talking about how they would build their future together. James would always say, one day, I'll give you the best life. You'll never lack anything. After graduation, things didn't go as planned. James searched for jobs but couldn't find any. They started struggling, living on Anna's small nursing salary. Even when she got pregnant, she still supported him with love and faith, believing their story would change. But instead of appreciating her, James grew bitter. He started comparing himself to richer men with cars, houses, and connections. And when Cynthia, a wealthy businesswoman, came into his life, he saw her as a shortcut to the success he always wanted. That night, as Anna cried herself to sleep, she whispered through her tears, God, please, even if he's forgotten me, don't forget me and my baby. James dragged his small travel bag down the muddy street and boarded a taxi that took him across town, straight to Cynthia's mansion. When he arrived, she was waiting for him. Dressed in a long silk gown, hair neatly tied, perfume filling the air, Cynthia looked like everything Anna was not: rich, confident, and powerful. She smiled sweetly. You're finally here, baby. James dropped his bag, smiling weakly. Yes. I'm done with that life. I'm ready to start afresh with you. She poured him wine and led him to a large glass dining table filled with food. It was like a dream, the lights, the marble floor, the air conditioner humming softly. For the first time in years, James felt like he belonged somewhere special. He looked around and whispered to himself, this is what I've been missing. Meanwhile, miles away in their tiny rented room, Anna sat on the bed holding her belly. The rain had stopped, but her tears hadn't. The sound of thunder had faded, replaced by the quiet cries of a woman talking to her unborn child. My baby, she whispered, it's just you and me now. But I promise, we will be fine. God will take care of us. She folded the blanket tightly around herself and prayed until she fell asleep, her heart heavy, but her faith still alive. Weeks passed. James' new life with Cynthia seemed perfect at first. He wore designer clothes, drove her cars, and stayed in a beautiful house. She introduced him to her rich friends as the man I love. James enjoyed every bit of it, the parties, the attention, the luxury. He stopped thinking about Anna. He even changed his phone number. But slowly, things began to shift. Cynthia wasn't as sweet as she looked. She was controlling, proud, and disrespectful. She made all the decisions: what he wore, where he went, who he talked to. James was more of a house boy than a boyfriend. He will clean the house, cook food, and even wash Cynthia's undies. Sometimes, she would shout at him in front of her friends. James, don't embarrass me. You should be grateful I picked you. Do you know how many men wish they were in your shoes? James would laugh awkwardly, pretending it was fine. But deep down, the same shame he once felt in poverty started creeping back, this time, covered in gold. Back in her small apartment, Anna gave birth to a baby boy. She named him David, meaning beloved of God. When she held him in her arms, she cried tears of both pain and gratitude. "Your father may have left us," she whispered, "but you will grow up to be a man with a good heart." Her neighbor, Mama Abigail, helped her during those months. Anna started selling small items outside her compound, soft drinks, snacks, and recharge cards, just to feed her baby. Each day was hard, but she kept smiling. Her strength came from love, the kind of love that doesn't give up even after being broken. While Anna struggled to stand on her feet, James was slowly losing his peace in Cynthia's mansion. What he thought was freedom was turning into a cage. One evening, during dinner, Cynthia's phone rang. She smiled, stood up, and went to the balcony. James overheard her laughing softly. "Don't worry, baby. I'll see you tomorrow," she said in a low voice. When she returned, James pretended not to notice. But that night, he couldn't sleep. He stared at the ceiling and thought about Anna, her soft voice, her patience, her prayers. For the first time in months, guilt filled his heart. He whispered to himself, "Maybe I made a mistake."
The days turned into weeks. The weeks quietly melted into months. From the outside, James looked like a man living his dream, fine suits, expensive watch, brand new car. But on the inside, his heart was heavy. Cynthia had become someone he no longer recognized. She would come home late, smelling of alcohol and strange perfumes. Her tone had changed too, no warmth, no respect. One evening, James waited for her at the dining table. He had prepared dinner himself, her favorite meal, just to make peace. But when she walked in, she didn't even look at him. "Cynthia," he said softly, "I made something special tonight. Can we eat together?" She looked at him with disgust. "Eat together? James, please, don't bother me." James swallowed hard. "I just wanted us to spend some time." "Enough," she snapped, cutting him off. She picked up her phone and walked away, leaving him at the table, humiliated once again. That night, James sat on the couch staring at the untouched plates of food. Tears filled his eyes. He whispered to himself, "Maybe, this is my punishment." Meanwhile, on the other side of town, life was slowly turning around for Anna. Her small business began to grow. She was kind, polite, and hardworking. People in the neighborhood loved her. One day, a woman in a neat suit bought water from her stand. She noticed Anna's gentle behavior and struck up a conversation. "You're such a polite young woman," the lady said. "Do you have any professional background?" Anna smiled shyly. "Yes, Ma. I'm a nurse. But I haven't worked in a hospital for some time." The woman smiled warmly. "Really? I'm the head nurse at City General Hospital. We're short of staff. Come see me tomorrow with your documents." Anna's eyes widened. She placed her hand on her chest. "Ma, are you serious?" "Of course." Anna stood frozen for a moment, tears of joy running down her cheeks. She looked up at the sky and whispered, "Thank you, Lord. You never forgot me." The next day, Anna wore her best clothes and went to the hospital. By noon, she was offered a job, an official nursing position with a good salary. That evening, she hugged her baby boy tightly and said, "David, our story is changing." While Anna's life was taking a bright new turn, James' world was beginning to crumble. One morning, James woke up to find Cynthia packing his bags. "Cynthia, what's going on?" he asked. "What's going on?" she repeated mockingly. "James, I'm done. I can't keep doing this. You have no job, no ambition, nothing to offer me. I need a real man, not a charity case." James felt his heart shatter. "After everything I gave up for you." She laughed. "You didn't give up anything. You just ran from poverty, and guess what, it followed you." She handed him the bags and asked him to leave her house. That day, James realized he had lost everything, the woman, the money, the fake comfort. He sat on the floor, hands in his hair, whispering to himself, "God, what have I done?" Months passed, and Anna's new life was like a sunrise after a long storm. Every morning, she wore her white nurse uniform with pride, holding baby David's hand as she took him to the daycare near the hospital. She worked with passion, always smiling, always caring. Her patients loved her gentle heart, and the doctors respected her dedication. Among those doctors was Dr. Michael, a kind and soft-spoken man in his late 30s. He was well known for his humility despite being one of the best doctors at City General Hospital. He noticed Anna's work ethic. She was always the first to arrive and the last to leave, never complaining. One evening, after a long shift, Dr. Michael saw Anna sitting alone in the staff lounge, her eyes fixed on an old photo of her and baby David. He walked up gently. "You've been working all day, Nurse Anna. Don't you ever rest?" Anna smiled faintly. "Rest," she said softly. "Sometimes I forget what that feels like." He chuckled. "Then I'll remind you. Come on, let me buy you dinner." Anna looked surprised. "Dinner? With you?" "Yes," he said kindly. "Just dinner, no hospital talk." She hesitated, then nodded shyly. "All right, doctor." That evening, they sat at a quiet restaurant nearby, talking and laughing. Dr. Michael listened to her story in silence, how James had left her pregnant, how she struggled to raise her son, and how she still found the strength to forgive. When she finished, he said softly, "You're the strongest woman I've ever met. Most people would have given up, but you kept believing." Anna smiled sadly. "I had no choice. My faith was the only thing I had left." From that day, their friendship grew deeper. He began helping her with David, driving them home after late shifts, buying the little boy gifts, and checking in whenever she was sick. Slowly, what started as kindness began to bloom into love. One Sunday afternoon, Dr. Michael visited Anna at home. David ran to him happily shouting, "Uncle Michael." Michael lifted him up, smiling warmly. Then he turned to Anna and said quietly, "Anna, can we talk?" She nodded, her heart beating fast. He took a deep breath. "I've prayed about this for months. You're not just a good nurse or a good mother. You're a woman with a beautiful soul. I don't care about your past, I want to be part of your future." Anna's eyes widened. "Doctor," she whispered, tears filling her eyes. "Are you sure?" He smiled softly. "More than ever. I want to love you and your son like my own." Tears rolled down her cheeks as she covered her mouth in disbelief. "I never thought anyone would love me again." He gently wiped her tears. "Then let me be the first." Months later, in a small, beautiful ceremony attended by friends and colleagues, Anna and Dr. Michael got married. Little David, now 3 years old, ran around happily as they exchanged vows. Anna's eyes glistened as she whispered, "God, you truly never forget those who trust in you." 3 years later, the city had changed, and so had Anna. Now married to Dr. Michael, she was respected, peaceful, and blessed. They had moved to a new neighborhood, and David had started school, a bright, cheerful boy who called Dr. Michael Daddy. Anna often thanked God for how far she had come. She never forgot the pain of her past, but she had learned to forgive and move on. One Saturday afternoon, Anna and Michael decided to stop by the market to buy some foodstuff. The sun was bright, and the place was busy, sellers shouting prices, children running around, and people haggling over tomatoes and yams. As they moved from one stall to another, a tired-looking man approached, carrying a heavy load of goods on his head. His clothes were torn, his slippers worn out, and his face covered in sweat and dust. He spoke weakly. "Madam, sir, let me help you carry your things. I can take them to your car." Anna turned around to respond and froze. Her hands trembled. Her lips parted in shock. It was James. He looked nothing like the proud man who once left her for a rich woman. His eyes were sunken, his beard unkempt, and his body thin from hardship. For a moment, time stopped. The market noise faded into silence. James stared back, his mouth fell open. "Anna," he stammered. Anna didn't know what to say. Dr. Michael turned to her quietly, realizing this was someone from her past. James dropped the goods he was holding and fell to his knees right there in the market. "Anna, please forgive me," he said, his voice shaking. "I've lost everything. Cynthia threw me out years ago. I have no home, no job, nothing. I'm not even the shadow of the man you once knew. Tears filled Anna's eyes, but she stood still. James, she said softly, I begged you not to leave me. I cried for you, but you chose your path. James bowed his head. I know, and I've suffered for it. Every day, I remember how I broke your heart. I was blind, chasing money. Please, Anna, let me make things right. I just want to be part of my son's life. Anna wiped a tear from her cheek. Our son already has a father, she said gently, looking at Dr. Michael, who stood silently beside her. A good man who loves him and takes care of him. James looked down, his tears dripping onto the dusty ground. Anna took a deep breath. Her heart was no longer bitter, just full of pity. She knelt slightly and said softly, I forgave you a long time ago, James. But forgiveness doesn't always mean going back. I pray God gives you another chance to start again. She stood, held her husband's hand, and they walked away slowly. As they left, James watched them disappear into the crowd. He sat on the floor, crying silently. Moral lesson. Never trade love and loyalty for wealth. Riches fade, but character remains. Be careful how you treat people when you're chasing success. The same people you look down on may rise above you.